So spend time in unexpected ways recognizing people, because people work so hard every day. What people want more than ever is a little bit of a pat on the back to say, thank you, congratulations, I am so happy that you're here, that you are making a difference to me. Very often this is unexpected. If you forget what calls you to your line of work, what calls you to your community and your volunteer work, it's like every day you show up, it's like being in prison. I got a phone call from someone recently. It went just like this. Hi there, I was wondering, would you come and would you speak to a group of incredibly sad, lonely, and depressed people? Well, that sounds really inspiring. But I decided I was up for the cause. I went out and gave a presentation on humor. We interacted, we played games, we had so much fun. As I was leaving, I said to that same program planner, if there's anything I hope you take away from this experience, we interacted, we had fun. They now know they don't have to always be sad, lonely, and depressed. And she says, well, oh, yes, they do. This here's a group of sad, lonely, depressed people. That's our mission. That's our mandate. That's how we get government funding. I said, is your goal as a volunteer every day to show up and make people lonely and depressed? She said no. Because it's inspiring wellness in others, and we all have that very same cause. The truth is, I love that word. Don't you love that word? Fiancé? Sounds so much like finance me. Recently, I was speaking for a group of hot tub salesmen. Yeah, I was pretty excited. I came away, I walked into the house with my fiance, and I said, honey, I've got a great idea. We should buy a hot tub. I'm pretty sure that's what I said word for word. But what I must have said is, let's have a really big fight about money. Because that's what happened. And so here's where I think your greatest source of humor is from everyday life around you as you engage with people who you care about the most. Think about those stories. Don't lose them. Remember them. That's your history. That's who you are. I don't. However, I should tell you, here's how this works. If I look at you and you look down, I can still see you. The average 26-year-old has more, better, greater technology today in his own personal use than he does in his organizations. Small organizations or large, we have better technology. Think about how that impacts you, even in a rural community. It's incredible. Technology is changing the game. Here's one of the big things that technology does. 20 years ago, how long do you think people could sit and pay attention? Just guess. An hour, a couple hours? People could sit and listen without any fancy anything for 20 minutes at a time. Yeah. What do you think is the average attention span today? You weren't paying attention? What? Ladies and gentlemen, the average attention span today is 9 seconds or less. You've got 9 seconds. You're like, oh, that's the problem. Got it. So as you're reaching out to your community, trying to get a message, to get them out to wonderful live events, that's what we need to do. Get people off of the couch, away from their technology, out communicating and interacting with each other. You've got 9 seconds to keep their attention. So no longer do we send out 100-page reports. Small, concise, positive messages to people. to help them engage, to help them to change. Because, let's face it, technology changes expectations for people as well. I mean, it is shocking, the things that people pay attention to. So the messages we see through technology aren't always the most positive, enthusiastic, engaging messages that we need to be putting out to our communities. That's why I strongly believe we need to get away from the technology, get out in the community, interact, have fun, engage with people. That's why we're here. So I want to suggest to you that humor puts you in control in two distinct ways. First of all, it helps you to control the way you feel. And then secondly, it helps you control your environment. So let's just start with the way you feel. See, I hope you can hold on to how you feel when you're here with your colleagues, your friends, because you can feel that way anytime at all. They call this the study of emotional intelligence. Have you heard of it before? We can control our emotions. The problem is most people don't try. You know that happens when somebody just flies off the handle. Their emotions are in control. So where does humor come from? Well, it is that surprising connection of two illogical ideas which actually creates a unique limbic reaction, and it results in intense feelings of pleasure. So a better way to describe it is Dr. Norman Cousins. He wrote a wonderful book. It's called The Anatomy of an Illness. He says that a good joke, it will lead you in a certain direction. It will come crashing into the punchline, which is unexpected. For you to find it funny, you recognize the connection between the preamble and the punchline. You suspend judgment, and you go, aha, eureka, I got it, aren't I clever? That's all it is. I'm actually really happy to be here. For a very short time, I actually thought that I wasn't going to make it. And that's just because recently I lost my birth control pills. So I didn't know what day it was. So also then I was speaking in Reno, Nevada. It's a great place. If you like to gamble, I lost $400 playing the blackjack, but luckily I won it back at the ATM machine. So what makes it funny is it will lead you in a certain direction, lost $400 playing blackjack, and then it will come crashing into the punchline, which is unexpected, won it back at the ATM machine. For you to find it funny, you recognize the preamble and the punchline, the train wreck of your mind, and then you start to laugh. Ring around the rosy, pocket full of posy, ashes, ashes, they all fall down. This dates back to the bubonic plague, the black plague. Anyone infected with the plague, they got a pock mark, a rosy mark, with a ring around it. The plague was infectious. It would infect anyone within your close circle, friends, family members, loved ones. The plague was terminal. Eventually, they would all fall down. Children created a game to help them survive a time in their lives. In our life, we will never experience that kind of stress in our communities. And yet children found a way to play. Children laugh an average of 400 times in one day. Adults laugh an average of 15 to 20. Learn to laugh when things go wrong.